Today is April 22nd, 2025. My name is Charles Suter, and today I'm presenting part 2 of my series on process reengineering. My main message is that by reengineering your process, you can get better outcomes. Most existing processes can be improved since new ways to get work done are constantly evolving with the introduction of modern methods, tools, and machinery. If you haven't tried to improve any process lately, whether personal or business related, it might be time to do so. Otherwise, you're at risk of unnecessarily continuing to do things the hard way and losing the opportunities inherent in better ways of getting work done. Last time I presented 3 principles of process reengineering, and in this presentation I'm introducing 3 more. So, principle number 4. Seek first to understand the needs of the process stakeholders. The primary stakeholder is the person or entity for which the outcome was originally intended. Of course, there are many other stakeholders in any process, and that includes the people doing the work. The reengineered process must improve the benefits received by all stakeholders. In fact, it'd be best if you were to engage all stakeholders to discover and focus on outputs offering the highest benefits. No process can be engineered without consideration of the stakeholders involved. Any process changes should not detract from the value of the outcome received by the customers in particular, nor should the input be expanded at higher cost or the people working the process required to work harder unless the outcomes are commensurately enhanced in exchange. The goal of process reengineering is to expand the benefits and reduce the inputs and work required to gain the most beneficial outcomes. The benefit to cost ratio is an excellent metric for determining the potential value of reengineering any process. Principle number 5. Think win-win, where every stakeholder gains something of value. An equitable distribution of benefits is as important as maximizing benefits. Benefits should be proportional to its importance to the stakeholders. It's best to resolve any potential conflicts between stakeholders before starting the reengineering process. So whenever possible, every stakeholder should gain something of value from the reengineering effort to be considered successful. Ideally, any changes should render benefits to all stakeholders in a win-win-win, where there's a win for every stakeholder, scenario. If possible, gains should be proportionally distributed according to the relevant importance to the stakeholders. You can avoid dissension if one stakeholder gets proportionally less rewards than another set of stakeholders by finding ways to fairly divide the benefits from improving a process. And of course, attention must be given to this task before you start. Principle number 6. Find ways to expand the total benefits by modifying the inputs or the process itself. Find new sources of benefits associated with the engineering process. Develop new benefits for new stakeholders if they can be found. Remove dissatisfiers from the process, that is the workflow, so workers gain better work satisfaction. The more improvement in benefits that can be squeezed out of a process, the better, so long as there is no unintended consequences from doing so. By taking a few trial runs with the improved process, any hidden deficiencies can be caught and adjusted early. Do not neglect to seek how new stakeholders, when I say new stakeholders, I want you to think of new customers, might benefit by a change in outcomes. Rather than dividing up the benefits from a fixed set of benefits, consider ways to boost the amount of benefits available to all. In other words, make the pie larger. If any parts of the process are a source of dissatisfaction because the people doing the work consider some aspects particularly laborious, tedious, or unsavory, then special attention should be devoted to find ways to eliminate those tasks to make them less unsatisfying. So, my final message is that the reengineering process, you should do it periodically so that you continue to get the best results rather than stagnate with the results you're getting now. To improve any process, there needs to be a prime sponsor or champion for doing so. The sponsor could be any individual, team, or stakeholder that can persuade all the other stakeholders to cooperate so as to gain the potential value of the reengineering process. Sometimes a single agent of change, such as yourself, can be instrumental in motivating others to become involved in finding better ways of getting work done. Since most processes can be improved with new methods, tools, machines, reengineering is always a worthwhile effort to find ways to improve the outcomes, such as the quality and quantity of the benefits. Now, the goal of process reengineering is to create enhanced results beneficial to all stakeholders, and this includes the people working the process. Well, that's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.